4:15.
4:15, I call the meeting to order. Please join us with a salute to our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. Rick Morgan here. Frank Riley is here. Bob Freeman. Here. Is there anybody from the public who would like to discuss anything prior to us getting into the meeting information that would like to get out of here early? We are putting this in to our agenda now. We're giving the public the opportunity to speak first and last. They have two opportunities this time. Since I don't have anybody, I will move on. I have the minutes from the Selectmen's meeting, February the 13th. We didn't have a meeting last week due to the holidays. Make a motion, we approve them.
Second it.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. And Rick, you were absent, so this is just Bob and I. I have two vouchers. I'm just going to make this one known. This was actually last week's. It has to be signed. Selectmen are in at different times and signed this. It requires two signatures. Mr. Freeman and I both got in at different times during the week and got it signed. But this is payroll week ending 2/18 through 2/21. The payroll was $44,211.91. And accounts payable, the batch totals were $57,342.21, and we made a school payment for $948,075. Grand total payments on this particular voucher for that particular week was $1,049,629.12. Boy, did I say that fast. Spend money that way, huh? And this is just here for record purposes. We did sign them, so everything could go through and get signed, and that's just on the records. This week's check vouchers, payroll week ending on 2/25, $43,622.43. Accounts payable were $26,427.85. The grand total for this particular week is $70,050.28. Much more manageable. Make a motion, we approve these.
Second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
We just lost $1 million, so that was pretty good, you know. I shouldn't say lost it, that's not true. Less than. One of the things we're trying to do this year, get lined up, this is a contract, just like we did last year with Rick Sager for disposal of property that was deeded over to the town for the lack of payment taxes. We've asked him to set up and do it again this year. The auction right now is scheduled for the first part of May. I don't know if there's been a definite date. I know he was talking the 6th, but I don't want to put that in concrete yet because it may slip a week. Each year, as people don't pay their taxes, for the folks who are watching over here on our network, if taxes haven't been paid for a total of 3 years, then we can deed them back to the town. The town disposes of the property. They can still have a right to buy their property back if they want to, but we need to get the property back on our tax rolls. That's what we're here for. If we don't have the property bringing in taxes, unfortunately, it goes across the board to other ones. Make a motion, we sign this.
Second it.
Any discussion?
The only thing I would add is two things. We work with every taxpayer who tries by making payment arrangements, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, it is our last resort to take the property.
Absolutely.
And two, going through Sager as an auctioneer, there is no cost to the town. The only money he receives is the buyer's premium from the buyer. So it's done so at no expense to us. The last tax auction, if my memory corrects me, we got it about $170,000 from.
And on top of that, he does all the advertising, he does all the postings, he goes around and posts the property. He takes it completely out of our hands, and like Rick said, we don't pay him anything, he gets a 10% buyer's premium.
Do you know how many properties are?
I'm gonna say right around 20. About 17, I guess, is on this list right now, if I count quickly. And that's if nothing else comes up, so I make a motion, we sign this.
I'll second it.
Any more discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
We had trouble with a well over to our landfill here a while back. It kind of went out on us. We did manage to get some insurance money back on it. In fact, the insurance company, it cost us $5,974.70 to repair it. And we had to pay our $1,000 deductible. The insurance company sent us a check for $4,974.70. So we got some money back on the well. They didn't cover any of the underground wiring. They say that's not within the policy, so we had to do that ourselves. I do have the highway department work log for the week of 2/12 through 2/18 and 2/19 through 2/25. Had a lot of small storms, big storms, and all storms somewhat in those time frames, I guess, Brad. But the past week's been a blessing in disguise because it's given everybody an opportunity to relax and regroup a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Everybody's done a great job. I know the guys have worked excessive hours and really appreciate everything they've done. You can pass that word back on to them.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
We have some abatements. If there's anything that I always have a concern with, is the way abatements come in, but they're a necessary process because sometimes things do end up getting not necessarily the way they ought to be and come in a different way. First one I have is map 092, lot 108. The assessor has had an opportunity to complete an inspection of the property. There are somewhat unique situations that require additional functional adjustments. At the top of the stairs, low headroom, so additionally in wall covering was mostly plywood. Once the adjustments are made to the account of these items, the value differences should be abated. So what he did is he abated it from $124,100 down to $118,100 abatement of a difference of $6,000. And this gives the person a refund of $125.40. He recommends we grant it. Make a motion, we grant it.
Second it.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next one is another one. It's map 134, lot 27. This one, he says he's had an opportunity to complete an inspection of this property. The construction of the original structure is with 2x4 studs. The roof was raised for a second story constructed with 2x6s in 2007. There are some unfinished areas which will require temporary adjustment until construction is completed. This one was assessed at $201,600. He changed the assessment to $179,100, which is a change of $22,500, which gives a refund of $490.05. He recommends that we grant this. Make a motion, we grant it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? I have a third one here, map 122, lot 10, sublot 10. And this one again, the taxpayer requesting abatements because they believe the assessed value exceeds market value. So this property has been assessed as a cottage. In reality, it's actually a camper that was actually built around. Recommend adjusting the depreciation to match the depreciation scheduled for an RV by allowing the additional adjustment of functional. Should it even be there?
That's a separate question from the assessment.
Certainly is.
It may be something that we should grant the assessment based on what our assessor recommends, but that may be something that our code enforcement officer ought to take a look at.
Because we don't allow anybody living in an RV for more than 14 days. So it looks like this is a camp that's been built around an RV. All right, I'll make a motion that we approve the abatement.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Oh, go ahead.
any discussion?
No.
I'll do it. Under discussion, the original assessment was $18,200. Revised assessment is $9,700, a difference of $8,500, which enters into a refund of $185.13, and he recommends that it be granted there. I'll get it straight now. I'll make a motion that we approve this.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Now, somehow this one,
Is that gonna get sent to Steve?
pardon me?
Is that gonna get sent to Steve?
It needs to go, a copy of this needs to go to Steve and ask him to look into the fact that it's actually an RV, not a camp. I guess that's what it really comes down to. You take care of that for us? Thank you very much. The next one is map 7, lot 19, and lot 20.
With the long explanation.
Well, I guess maybe. Building was listed as a shop and was raised in 2016. Additionally, there was no septic on this property and should be adjusted accordingly. Vacant land was determined to have a -25 adjustment to the development site during the 2015 revaluation. So what he's done with this one is, after looking at it, didn't really drop it much. The original assessment was $132,800. He recommends reassessing it to
There's two parcels.
There's two parcels, yeah, one
So
went
he does
down, one went up.
One went down, one went up.
The first one went up, went from 132,800 up to 133,500, that went up. And then the other one at 10 Depot Square went from 77,400 to 61,100, which is a difference of dropping $16,300. In short, that changes the total valuation on both properties combined together to $15,600, with a combined abatement refund suggested to be $337.12. Recommends that it be granted. Make a motion, we approve this.
Second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. Eventually, we hope to have all these abatements squared away. We would like to think we wouldn't have any more, especially after you go through reassessments. But there are people who do have a legitimate complaint that the assessments may be off, and when that happens, we have an obligation to go in and look at them. The last one I have, I believe it's the last one, is map 17, lot 14, sublot P07. This one here is the taxpayer has supplied a copy of their registration, which was effective March 31st, 2016. I have reduced the assessment by the value of the RV. However, there is a deck which is not exempt. This is in a campground, and it's one of the things we've been trying to get squared away is the RVs in the campground. If they register them for the road, they're not taxable. If they're not registered for the road, they are taxable. So we go in, maybe somebody hasn't put a plate on, so we take it that they're taxable, and then they produce the plate and the registration, they become non-taxable, so then we end up with doing abatements. Original assessment was $4,600, revised it by $200. The new assessment is $4,400, recommends a refund of $95.09, that's just for the RV itself. I recommend that we grant it, make a motion, we approve it.
Second it.
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Cleaning up paperwork. Have a request here to, for the business fair to use Town Hall April 14th and 15th, and also for the penny sale for the Ossipee Main Street. Is Ossipee Main Street is for both of these, for May 5th and May 6th. I have a check here for deposit, and make a motion we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just that the schedule's been okay.
Yes, it has been. I
Okay.
did talk to Craig on this. He's now going to start signing them out on the edge to say that he has verified these and he will be doing that.
Okay.
I talked with him here a few minutes ago. Open hoping I missed one. The third time is August 25th and 26th, also for Ossipee Main Street, so I actually have 3 of them. I have a letter here. It's an application renewal for groundwater management permit, Pease International Tradesport. It comes in to tax collector. This is strictly information to us. And this is attached. Please find for your records a copy of an application for renewal of groundwater management permit for the above referenced site. This application, along with supporting documentation, will be submitted to the New Hampshire Department of Environmental Services as required. And this is actually for the old Johnson Gas property in West Ossipee, former Johnson Gas, 2400 Route 16 in Ossipee. This is strictly information. It's submitting the application again to follow up on it. This is most probably because there's work going on out there for improving that property or doing something with it. Request for a veteran's credit. It's been reviewed by our assessor, and he has okayed it. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then I just have another payroll reimbursement request from the Water Sewer Department that apparently went missing. They can't find it for week ending 2/4 of 17, payroll date 2/7 of 17. They're asking for this to be signed as a duplicate original loss. Make a motion, we sign it.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Another item that came up on an abatement, and we apparently missed a part. The assessor is asking us to sign this agreement that we've made with the landowner. It just says, please sign the enclosed settlement agreement so we can forward it to the Board of Tax and Land Appeals. This agreement was previously approved by you, but it was omitted from the abatement package submitted to you for action at your previous meeting. Anybody who doesn't agree with their assessment has a right to go to New Hampshire Land Board, and then the Land Board gets involved, works with our assessor, works with us, and they try to bring everybody into an agreement. We came to an agreement on this, but what this is telling us is we forgot to complete this particular document. So I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Notice of intent to excavate. This is John Jedry, Pauldy's Crossing. It's an ongoing gravel pit in there that they've been working at and been hauling out of there for a number of years. John Jedry is an operation out of Alton, New Hampshire. Make a motion, we approve this.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Another permanent application for a veterans exemption,
That's
elderly
right.
exemption, excuse me, it's an elderly, I had to go in here and find it. It's been reviewed by our assessor. He said this meets all the criteria and is okay. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a warrant here for an excavation tax to Kelly Skian, collector, taxes, town of Ossipee, Carroll County. It says, in the name of the state of New Hampshire, you're hereby directed to collect the excavation tax in the listed herewith committed to you for the amount of $421.92. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
This is on John Jedry. Any discussion?
No.
All in favor? Aye. I have another here, contract use facility. This is actually record keeping because date of the activity was 4/22/2017. And it was actually a meeting they held over the Freight House. This guy didn't get it through here because we didn't have a meeting last week. Last week was a holiday, so they actually submitted it timely, but because we didn't meet, it didn't get signed. So all we're asking for, all we're gonna do with this is format, file it. So we did it, make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, that completes our red folder. And then we have here water sewer that we now do each week. As we get through our red folder, we go into the water sewer department. I have a warrant, again, to Kelly J. Skian, tax collector, to go collect $169.90. Make a motion, we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then I have a second one here for, again, to Kelly Skian. Name of the state of New Hampshire hereby directed to collect a septic disposal fee. It's listed here with committed to you in the amount of $600. Make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second it.
Sorry, change me up there.
Any more discussion?
Nope.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then we do the bills and the, basically the voucher for the water sewer department. And this is the details of checks for February the 24th, a total of $4,742.03. This includes work that's been done by people, payroll, and I make a motion we approve it.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
And Bo, we did sign all the individual ones. You're all signed, okay? Eventually you'll train us, all right?
Just in time for us to change it.
Old business, I don't know of anything new on 28171. I think they're still working on that. I know Ed, you said there's money appropriated to go fix that intersection down there, and, or at least been authorized to go fix it.
I don't know if it's been authorized yet, but there's legislation that's supposed to get that money.
Okay, we'll just keep watching it. We just keep working on it, keep going with it.
Point of information, any information on the, or report on the recent public hearing on that intersection? There was a public hearing here.
I had a public hearing on 16, on 2816, 1.1 miles. It wasn't, no, I don't believe it was on that intersection.
No.
Thank you.
They covered from basically the 2816 intersection to just about Sunnyville. Holly's Crossing Road, just north of the Green Mountain Furniture. And that meeting happened the 22nd, Brad, I think you were here.
Yep.
How did that go?
Well, I'd say there were probably 30 to 40 residents came into the hearing. DOT did a nice job in their presentation. What they do, which works out real well, is about a half hour before the meeting, public's invited to come in and they can actually go up to the big board with a plan on it there and talk individually with the engineers there that are designing it. Ask questions specific to their properties, so they did that. We all had the public hearing at 6, and they did their presentation. Nobody from the audience wanted to speak after the presentation during the open, public input part. So we closed the public hearing, then a few people came in later, came up to the board again afterwards and spoke for another half hour, 45 minutes with the DOT engineers about their properties again. So, of course, DOT takes all the notes and concerns, writes them all down, and then it'll all be in their report and stuff. So overall, I'd say it went very well, and was well attended.
Good. That's just one section. There's more sections to be done later down the road, the Level River Bridge and then the 2 Bear Camp Bridges, and that's coming. That's 2 or 3 years, 4 years away, I think.
Well, we had that public hearing we had earlier this late fall, early winter was that one, and the next one coming up will be later this summer, will be Route 41, 25, 16, intersection of West Ossipee will be the next public hearing.
Well, they're good meetings. The state comes in here, and I thought, there were a couple I've attended, and I did not attend the one on the 22nd. I thought the state did a real nice job. They came in here and they put a lot of information up for people to look at, see just what was going on. They were here, they did a good job answering questions, and I have to compliment them for that. Hazardous dilapidated buildings, we're still waiting for that one. The Dawes Corner one is still in a wait. I've had a call into our attorney to figure out where that is, and I'm gonna call back. Highway Department and Water Sewer, Brad, we talked about getting some training in for people, licensing. I know you and Bo have talked of it, worked with it.
We've been talking together quite a bit. We talked about trying to get a temporary help in for Bo. One of the people we talked to didn't work out as one of the fellows that was working with the cemetery maintenance there. Thought he might be interested in some part-time work. Ended up not having a driver's license, so it didn't work out. As we're getting ready to pursue other avenues, we heard from Jimmy that he's coming back, and it's tomorrow he's coming back, right, Bo? So
Is he back tomorrow?
He'll be back tomorrow,
Excellent.
so.
That's good news.
In the meantime, we've also been training 2 of our highway guys to be able to go in and read the stations on the Saturday and Sunday if something comes up and you know, Bo and Jimmy aren't available, we'll have a backup plan to be able to cover the stations and, you know, do the readings they have to every day to be monitored. Permitting, I have put in my application for the water and wastewater licenses, and have scheduled the training in March. Be taking the test in April 20th, and then should get a permit there for that too. So I think we'll be in pretty good shape here.
Good. Any other old business?
No.
Any other old business?
No.
Any other old business, Brad?
I got new business for you.
I got new, but I'm on
Okay.
old at the moment.
No.
New business. Any new business?
Nope.
Any new business? Brad, new business.
New business is, we'd like to discuss with you, and hopefully you okay it, for road postings. We'd like to post a week from today, Monday, March 6th, for the 6-ton load limit. Been in touch with other towns around us, Wolfboro and Tuftonboro, gonna post the same day. Moultonboro is already posted, Wakefield is posted, and I believe Freedom is posted also. Yeah. So, I've sent the notices into the paper already, so they will get into this week's papers in hopes that you guys approve it. If you don't, I can always cancel them, but I wanted to give notice out to people before they're posted. And Billy's already gone out and talking to the local, some logging operations we know are going on around here. We've given them a heads up and stuff, so, you know, we're actually talking to these people too that are working in town.
And we'll keep working with them. If we can let them run on a cold
Yeah.
morning or something,
Yep,
you
yep.
know, do the best we can to let these businesses
Yep.
run as much as they can.
Yep.
You know, I understand
But we have a big investment, we need to protect the
We do.
road.
Right. Yep.
we need to work both ways and help
Yep.
them out too, if we can help them and go forward. I have no problem with posting on that.
Okay.
They were all good with it too.
Yes.
Anything else, Brad, on new?
I think that was it.
Open it to public input. Public input. Sam?
Same one. I have a question. Can you back up a little bit when you were doing the rebates and for the taxes? When you said you put a license plate on a camper or a motor,
If in the campground, if it's a registered RV, then it's non-taxable. If it's not registered, in addition to what Frank said, the campground owners have to notify us by a certain date of the ones that are there permanently and not registered.
you just require registered and not inspected.
Doesn't have to be inspected.
No, there's no requirement for
No
inspections.
requirement. For tax purposes, if it's registered, it's not taxable.
I just was.
Plus, they changed the law last year. Anything under 10,000 pounds no longer requires a sticker anyway.
Oh,
So that just about fits about every camper there is out there. I don't know of many that are over that.
do you want me to post the road posting up in the red flash on the top?
Yeah, on the town network. Sure.
On
Great.
on the big red banner.
Please.
Yeah, Greg Howard, West Ossipee. Over the past month, I've contacted the selectmen through Ellen White's email account through the town website about an outstanding zoning violation issue, and I've not received any response to my inquiries, and didn't know if that's the appropriate venue to contact the selectmen when I'm not able to attend the meetings.
I would say normally, yes, except that Ellen, our town administrator, is out on maternity leave, and I don't know, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
No, me neither.
I think it's a problem then, because that's the contact when you go to the website, and if you want to email the selectmen, you basically have to go through the administrator, so you go through Ellen.
Yeah.
So who knows how many other people may have tried to contact the selectmen in regards to certain issues.
I'll contact Ellen because she has been answering all of her emails to my knowledge. Now, this is the first I heard she hasn't.
Right.
But I will contact her and find out how many that maybe haven't been answered correctly.
Okay, well then,
But if it's a zoning issue, I mean, in all fairness, you should have gone right to the building inspector.
it has.
Okay.
I've gone through Steve, and Steve has recognized that the situation is, there are several violations at the site, and he's readily identified them. I laid them out, and then he concurred. This was back in October. And I've asked as to what's gonna happen with the property, and he says that the town has done the notice via certified mail, and they've not been received, because I know they're not gonna be received by the individual because of prior history, that he won't accept that certified mail. At what point, because the selectmen are the ones who actually enforce the zoning regulations, at what point do the selectmen take action beyond sending these repeated certified mail notices?
I don't mind answering if you.
Go ahead.
One, it depends on the situation. If you've got somebody that's flat ducking notification, which we have frequently happen with tax notices, et cetera, we back it up with a first-class mail as well, because they're pretty hard-pressed to deny having received any of them, and some of them won't accept the certified. Past that, you know, again, I'm at a disadvantage because I have no idea what you're talking about, or what property, or what situation.
That's why I'm asking about process.
But past that, once our building inspector says to us, I've done everything that I can do with this, and these people won't meet me halfway, or whatever the situation might be, then that's when we involve the town attorney and start the process of taking them to court if necessary to comply, to make them comply with the zoning ordinance. We've got two that we're updating right now in dilapidated buildings. We've got some that are pending a court hearing. I won't tell you that process goes quickly, because it doesn't at all. We've been months getting it in, but it is in court. We're simply waiting for a court date from the court. And the second one, which was 9 Doors Corner Road, that we've been working on for months and months and months, and we did just get a court order ordering them to comply, and now we'll wait and see if they do, and if they don't, we'll be back in court again. So I'm not gonna say that it's a fast process, but there is a process, and if they are ignoring the town, then that's a problem.
Well, I was gonna say, because I didn't know if it was after 2 attempts at trying to have certified mail notice to the individual like that, you know, they're returned undeliverable, is if the town then ratchets it up to try to get the property owner's attention.
Yes.
And I would ask that the selectmen look at a more formal process, because I know that Steve is dealing with a number of properties that are not in compliance. And I have a concern with properties that are highly visible, that are in violation of zoning, is it doesn't help with parties that are looking at redeveloping properties or developing properties, and looking at our zoning regulations and seeing that the abutter or somebody else along that section of road is not in compliance and nothing is being done. So why should they go through the effort to try to be in compliance? They could promise that they're gonna do X, Y, and Z, but then actually not execute. And I'd like to see the town have more teeth in approaching some of these issues, in particular the commercial issues that are on our major thoroughfare, Route 16. So,
Well, I think the town has plenty of teeth. I think it's just, when you ask for a more formal process, I don't know that I necessarily agree. There is a process.
well, this particular property, I know was an issue in the past, and I don't think that much has been done to actively pursue the issue. One issue in particular, but now there are other issues that have come up with the property.
Yeah, again, I'm at a disadvantage, 'cause I don't even know what property you're talking about, so.
Yep, in the emails, if you can retrieve the emails and all like that, it's very specific, and you can ask Steve, once you note to him that
Just tell me where the property is so that I know what to review it.
it's a Longo property up in West Ossipee.
Okay.
Because there's an email chain between Steve and
Okay.
I where he's recognized, and when I've contacted him, he says he's now on like his third attempt. And I said, we had an issue with this guy back almost 30 years ago. So
I
the
remember.
town has the history, so I would think that, I personally feel that it's something that should rise to a higher priority than maybe some of the other issues in terms of zoning violations in the town, because it's in a high profile location.
Yeah, no, now that I know who you're talking about, you're absolutely right, you will never accept a certified letter. We have others though that with the taxes where we've actually sent our police department out to hand deliver them, so there are other ways of getting that to happen. So, I suggest that we set up a meeting with a zoning officer and discuss it, because I wasn't familiar that there was a series of complaints waiting. I am familiar with some of the issues that are up there, but not that you may have raised.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll put Steve on our agenda for 3 o'clock next week. Discussion of the Long Grove property.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna need a 2 o'clock next Monday.
Jog my memory too on a new business. We have a gentleman coming up from Green Estates, rural water and sewer. He's gonna come in earlier in the day, he would Bo and us and me, and we're gonna go over like school and, some of these things around town and stuff. We'd like to sit down with the board too during the day, during the afternoon at 2 o'clock if possible.
First I'd heard, so.
Yep.
He mentioned to me earlier, and I just
Okay.
told him to make sure and bring it up so we get it on the agenda.
What's the name?
So it'll be March 6th at 2 o'clock.
Water and sewer.
Water sewer, yeah, and 3 o'clock, put Steve on for talking about Long Grove's property. That's the right name, right? Long Grove?
Yeah.
Long Grove. We'll ring out and see what's happened with it. I honestly don't know either. So.
I didn't know anything about this.
No, I didn't either.
Any other public input? I have no need for non-public tonight. If there's no other public input, I'll make a motion we adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for coming. We
Thank
will
you.
follow up on that, Greg.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.